My name is Gil Werhane. I'll be acting as co-moderator of tonight's Mayoral Candidate Forum for the City of Pomona 1993 elections. We will start by offering the candidates 2 minutes to tell us exactly what their qualifications are, why they're running for the position of Mayor of Pomona. The next candidate to speak will be Kevin Craig Osmus. Mr. Osmus.
Thank you. I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work, scared of losing their job. Dollar buys a nickel worth. Banks are going bust. School kids have a gun in their backpack. Punks are running wild in the streets. Lunatics are running down, gunning down innocent people, and there's nobody anywhere seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. And we know the air is unfit to breathe, and the food is unfit to eat, and we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today there have been 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, and as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. You know, we sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my Nintendo and my cable TV and my cellular phone, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. Now, I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write your congressman, because I wouldn't know to tell you what to write to your congressman. I don't know what to do about the depression and the graffiti and the billboards and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a citizen of Pomona, damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and face the camera and stick your face in the camera and raise your hand and say, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. If you're at home, I want you to go out, go to your window, open your window, stick your head out the window and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. Things have got to change. First, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. Then we can figure out what to do about the utility tax and the firefighters and everything else. But first of all, you've got to say, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. Thank you. I'm Mr. P. I'm the rock and roll candidate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Osmus.
Question number 2 will be addressed to Mr. Cortez, Mr. Osmus, Mr. Geiger, and Mr. Smith. The question reads, promoting good citizenship. What ideas do you have to promote and develop good citizenship, particularly in our youth?
Well, what ideas do I have to promote and develop good citizenship, particularly in our youth? Well, elect me. Hey, encourage every kid to join a band, you know what I mean? Oh, that's right, we don't really encourage kids to join bands anymore. That's just something that we'd rather not do. It's too dangerous, too youthful. You know what I mean? You know, these kids, they don't have any places to play in Pomona anyway. They'd have to go outside of Pomona. They'd have to go outside of Pomona to promote their bands and do that. I guess that's just a lofty goal of mine. But, you know, we do have an arts community in this town. Nobody knows about it. It's pretty underground. Doesn't have to be underground. People that are in the arts community are working very hard. And I think maybe if we pushed our kids into encouraging them to be artists, be painters, be singers, be musicians, maybe they'd have a little bit more to do and not staying out on the street so much. You know what I mean? Thank you. That's my answer.
Thank you, Mr. Osmus. Meeting the needs of a multi-ethnic society, what should the city do to address the needs of the diverse multi-ethnic community? Mr. Osmus.
Well, to tell you the truth, my answer to that, I don't know. I mean, issues, you gotta love them. Everybody wants to know where you stand on the issues. You know where I stand? I don't like them. They just get in my way. I just soon just brush them off the table and get right to the crux of the matter. It's what I would do when I'm elected mayor of Pomona. And that is, first thing, I'm going to get one of those big, huge, state-of-the-art, dual CD cassette players, and best one I can get, put it in the mayor's office and sit there and crank tunes all day. And then, plus, I'm going to extend an invitation to every kid, every band in the country, and tell them to come to Pomona and drop their tape off so that we can play Music from all across the country. And you know, and I bet we get a lot of multi-ethnic people come and drop off their tapes. What do you say about that?
Thank you.
And the question reads, do you support the current plan to negotiate a deal for freeway visible billboards?
No.
Okay.
Emphatically no.
Well, I don't really know what to say beyond that, except there's a big smell I always smell on the 57 freeway when I'm driving around. Why don't we get rid of that, too, while we're at it, okay?
Thank you. The question reads, should the city continue to use its utility users tax to supplant lost revenues? Are there other means? Mr. Osmus.
Well, the thing that intrigues me about this question is it says we need the utility tax to supplant lost revenues. Well, I want to know, lost revenues, who lost them? I think we should find who lost them and get him up here and explain why they were lost and why we're being taxed to get them back, because that's baloney as far as I'm concerned. And if there are other means to get lost revenues, yeah, you could always open up a nice big place to have bands play.
Should the city pursue contracting with LA County for fire service? Why or why not?
Okay, I know you're all waiting for me to say something goofy about this, but fact of the matter is I just don't have enough information on this whole deal. I think that's something that's been negotiated by or is being considered by the city council and is a very important issue, and I'm not just going to make a rash statement saying I'm for it or against it. I would have to investigate it a little bit more because, you know, as I recall reading somewhere that Pomona was one of the arson capitals of the country. And if that's the case, then we really do need some good fire service in this city. So, truth.
The question reads, it is a general knowledge that the city of Pomona receives much negative media coverage in front of page news and very little positive media coverage. As mayor of the city, what will you attempt to change this bias?
Well, it's all about image. And that's probably why I've already joked around. I'm not a big issues man, although if I was elected, I would definitely just go right on into it and get involved in the issues. But I think that the mayor's office itself is more than any other office that you can, in the city, it's a PR kind of a thing. Everybody wants to know what the mayor thinks about what happens in the city. You've got to produce a positive image. If you produce a positive image as a mayor, then the people that live in the city will also feel positively about living in the city. And that could solve a lot of our problems right there. And, I mean, you know, the rock and roll mayor, sure, yeah, it's pretty goofy, but I don't know, it could be a lot worse, you know?
Thank you. Are any one of the candidates for mayor considering a recreational center for the youth in the community? Mr. Osmus.
Sure, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Like I say, you know, it's cool to do something, like cool to be in a gang, that's the way the kids are going to go. If you get something cool to do for them on the other side, they may go that way. Like I say, you know, it sounds dumb, but bring in a place where bands can play. Don't mess with them, okay? The kids will go see the bands. Get an art center going.
The issue of mobile home rent control will undoubtedly resurface in Pomona. What is your position, Mr. Osmus?
Well, there's a lot of mobile home residents in this city. I could pick up a lot of votes just by saying that we'll have rent control. On the other hand, I don't want to make any promises that I can't back up once I get elected. This is politics. Rent control. Vote for me. Thank you.
How can the city resources be better used to combat crime?
I think what makes Pomona different is if you keep to yourself, I think you're all right. It's kind of one of those towns where if you go looking for trouble, you'll find it. Like maybe you're just out in your car one night driving around, oh, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to look for some trouble. And you can find it in Pomona, that's for sure. Another time, I had to walk from the library. My brother lived on Fernleaf, and had to walk past that park. It was on Grand. Kids yelling at me. I didn't know what they were saying to me. And they didn't bug me, probably because I looked weird and walked funny. And I think that's the answer. Look weird and walk funny, and you'll be okay.
Thank you, Mr. Osmus.
Okay, now, gentlemen, we'd like to have, for you to please present your closing statement, and you're going to have 2 minutes. Mr. Osmus, please.
Thank you. Well, I've joked around a lot. Many people, I'm sure, think I'm not serious about this. I am. Running for mayor has given me a reason to get up in the morning. And going against all the advice of my friends, I have no platform. I'm running because I can run. Anybody can do it. One day I woke up, I go, wow, it's this whole mayor deal. Maybe I can get in on it. So that's why I'm here. So I'm doing my part. Now it's up to the voters to do theirs, because hardly anybody votes in these elections. We all know that. It's a tragedy. It's like nobody cares. I care enough to be up here right now making a goofball of myself. So maybe some of you that never vote will see something in that stirs you to vote. Maybe the rock and roll mayor works for you. Maybe it scares the hell out of you. Okay? Maybe you want to make sure you go down and vote to keep me out of office. Whatever. You just get out there and do it. We have a tremendously diverse field of candidates here. I respect them all, especially after being up through all this for 3 hours. And I bring my dynamism to this field. I'm a musician. In fact, I have a new tape that we wrote and recorded just for this. It's called Desperation Squad. I am the mayor, the rock and roll mayor. And on the flip side, we have the Spanish language version. Escuadra de Desesperación, soy el alcalde de rock and roll. And furthermore, I don't believe that if you have absolutely no experience, it hinders you in your chances to be an effective mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Osmus. Mr. Wilkins, please.
Paul, did you figure things out? I got to follow you now.
I'm equal opportunity here.
And if you could extend that applause, please, to all the candidates, if you would. Everyone, thank you very much. Thank you for being here once again, and buenas noches. Have a nice evening.